Welcome to the Screen Time Continuum. It is Sunday, and we are here at you to review the movie Hellhole. My name is Keelan, and I am here with the fellas. What's going on, fellas? Nick,
Hey,
Mike,
What
good.
it do?
what up, fellas? It's weird. I always kind of forget how to intro us, and I wonder if I should just start introing myself last. Would that be a smoother transition? I'm just not sure. Um, but hey, I'll try something else next time. Um, until then, welcome, guys. We are here on this Sunday to cover the movie Hellhole. Hellhole is currently available on Netflix, and it just came out. I don't have any more details. Mike may have them. Hey, Mike.
Nope.
Oh, dang it. All right, fine. I lie. I
No
have details.
details.
No details for a movie that probably didn't give me any to start with. But hey, we'll talk to that about that in a minute. In fact, I do have the details. I just, I wasn't quite sure. I was looking to see if we could throw it around a little. Um, but this movie is a movie that came out in 2020 originally, but it hit Netflix in 2022. As far as I know, it's the first time we all seen it pop up. And when you look at it on Netflix, it says 2022. I think this fell under that group, guys, of pandemic movies at the beginning or midway end of 2020 that just got overlooked and they got redistributed recently on the direct to home or direct to video. I forgot what they're called, but on the streaming services.
hmm
So yes, it is directed, or excuse me, it's originally a Polish movie. It is called Hellhole in English. I cannot pronounce it in Polish,
Oh,
but
come
it
on,
is.
Keelan, give it a shot.
Well, I don't have the words in front of me. You know, I would try if I had it in front of me.
Ostatnia Wejzerza.
Oh crap! I just found it. It's on Wiki. Okay, so I got it on Wiki. Ostania Wixerza. Yeah, that's not bad.
Wejzerza. Yeah.
Ostania Wixerza. Lit. It says Lit. I just had to say it. But it's also, I guess, a translation for the Last Supper. That's weird. So Hellhole, Last Supper,
I guess that
Ostantia.
makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. It
Huh.
makes more sense than Hellhole.
It makes way more sense than Hellhole, actually. That's interesting. Um, there we go. It is directed by Bartosz Kowalski. And the cinematography is by Cezary Stolecki.
All of
And
that makes sense too.
that makes sense as well.
Yeah.
How so?
Polish movie, Polish director names.
Oh. I thought those names like meant something, jumped
No,
out to you. You were like, "Oh,
not at all.
now that makes sense as to why."
Nope.
Boo, boo this man.
I got nothing to add to that except a review of this movie, and that's it.
Indeed. Well, let me give the brief plot points as can be found currently on Google. Not going through Wiki, not even going to what it says on Netflix. On Google, when you first look this up, it says actually when you first look this up, a movie comes up about 1985 and a women's prison. But then when you look it up for the Netflix movie, you find this, the Polish movie. That's how you will find this movie in order to watch it along with us. Make sure you look up the Netflix version, or you just look for it on Netflix in general. And it is a movie based in 1987 where a young militiaman infiltrates a monastery out of the world. Oh, there we go. A monastery cut off from the world. I might need glasses, forgive me. Cut off from the world where the monks that run the clinic for the possessed are pretending to be clergymen. He tries to explain the mysterious disappearances of several tormented residents.
Description gives quite a bit away.
It gives way more
Surprise.
away than the Netflix description.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Netflix. Okay, so now I have to read the Netflix description just because I have it. The Netflix description says in 1987 Poland, a police officer investigates mysterious disappearances, infiltrates a remote monastery, and discovers a dark truth about its clergy. I also remember reading another one that said he discovers a dark truth about himself. So there are a few different descriptions of this movie, and I guess if you get the right one, you really will be kind of led into the appropriately led into this movie, huh? Uh, but most of the other
I
ones
mean, for the most
don't
part,
really.
yeah, they're all
Most of them.
pretty accurate.
You think they all are? Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe one or two are pretty accurate, and the rest of them are just a little aloof.
Just the
But
ones you described just now just seem pretty accurate.
okay, fair enough. Well, we'll just go along with that. I will stop throwing disclaimers and trying to discredit something that clearly did a very decent job of leading us into what it was bringing to us. Um, let's see if I actually picked up what it was trying to put down, because perhaps I didn't. Um, First thoughts, gentlemen. Mike, what do you think about the movie Hellhole? Seeing as
Um, as far as horror movies goes, I liked it. I don't think it was good, but I liked it.
wait, you got it. You can't just leave that. You can't leave that.
I mean, okay, most horror movies are designed to give you a scare or something like that. Most of them don't, but that doesn't mean that they're not still good. Like as far as a big, okay, the story idea can be good, the execution just might not be great. And I think this is kind of what that is. It's a good idea, but they just didn't execute it very good. And I'm not mad about it because I say this often. I like the ending. I really like the ending, and not because I just thought the whole movie was horrible. I just thought it got to the perfect ending for what this was. And I like movies that end like this, kind of like the Cabin in the Woods. I
Okay.
like the ending. I thought the ending was when the bad guy wins at the end. I'm happy because it's just not it's out of the norm.
hmm I can't really get upset with that.
That's just how I feel. I don't expect everybody to agree, but that's just how I feel about it.
I will say in this movie, I'm not sure if there was a good guy for the bad guy to win, but I do understand.
Jesus.
Um,
Duh.
I mean, the cop was a good guy,
Jesus
I
had
think.
a little standoff. We'll talk about it later.
Right. We get into the details. What'd you think?
I or Nick?
Either one.
Um, well, my first impressions of this, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. There were some really good elements to it. I love anytime that I'm able to see a monster or anything fantastical on screen. Um, there are a lot of elements of this movie I liked, and a few things that made me giggle. And then some other stuff that just like you said, it's not meant to really be good, but I didn't hate it. So yeah. I can't say I'm mad that I watched it, but I can't say that I'm excited. Like if they had a part two, I'd wonder why. And not
They don't need
because
a part two.
I understand, but not because it didn't lead off somewhere where it's like they could even throw a cheesy part two, but that's what it would be to me. It'd be like, what was the point of that? So
Right.
for me, um, yeah, didn't hate it. Didn't hate it at all. Like we could definitely get into the weeds of that. Nick, what did you think?
Well, first of all, I'm offended because that's not how you summon a hellhole. And I think that this is a gross misrepresentation of demons and the occult and the process of which opening a hell mouth takes place. So I gotta give it a thumbs down just off of that.
It's off the crude input.
Yeah,
Fake
well,
fake news. You
yeah,
screaming fake news.
it's fake news for sure. No, I thought this movie was fine. It wasn't that great to me. I think it was just okay. I think there were some interesting ideas. I think it's kind of creepy in the way it's shot. It's very dark. It's very blue. It's very Polish. Which just adds to the like misery that everybody's supposed to feel because it's in Poland. So yeah, I think it does an okay job at building a little bit of atmosphere, but the story just isn't strong enough for me to be fully into it in the way that I think maybe I could have been. And the end is sort of ridiculous in a fun way, but also in a way that's like, well, I guess I kind of wanted to see that over everything else. You should have
Yeah.
just showed us more of that.
I
To
think the
be
end happened the way it was supposed to, and definitely the way we wanted it to.
Yeah. To be fair, when I was watching, and it was like I was about 7 minutes and 42 seconds in, I was like, I know the entire movie.
Same. Me too.
I figured out the entire movie in like the first 7 minutes.
I
I was
knew
like,
they were
damn,
eating
not
humans
even
right
10.
away. I
Yeah.
knew they were eating humans
Bro.
right away.
No
We
question.
all did.
There was no question. The first time they looked in the bowl, I was like,
Is that
yeah.
human flesh?
I was like, that's human flesh for sure. And I saw
Right.
the
I was like,
consistency of the blood. I was like, this might be a movie. That's
right.
human blood.
That's
Human
why
movie
that's
blood.
why I said what I said about it. I mean, it's not a great movie, but I liked it.
The fact that he didn't realize he was eating people.
Right. How did you not
He liked
know?
it. Nah, he liked it.
He had to be about that life.
I'm surprised he
least to
didn't
some
start
degree.
shooting more people.
Right. And you're muted, Keelan.
No, that was intentional. I was coughing.
Okay. Gotcha.
He did not shoot more people because he was preserving his bullets so that he could use them on the evil one that came from within.
On himself. Yeah.
Which
Dun dun
apparently
dun.
is,
Oh my God, I'm the devil.
You know what? When they said the monastery didn't have electricity, I was like, yeah, I'm calling it right there.
I'm out. I'm out.
I was like, but you got a whole video camera for real?
Man,
I would have been sus when they were like, hey, we really needed an exorcist, but you want to go see the exorcism we're about to do?
wait,
Right.
You need an exorcist.
You know, even before that, we took your cigarettes. What the hell?
You need an exorcist at the monastery, and then you needed another. You wanted to show me an exorcism, which I was like, okay, he's there, and it's in my notes. He's there because they needed an exorcist.
Mm-hmm. But he's not doing the exorcism.
Class in
Right.
exorcism? Question mark.
I mean, when he lit up the cigarette at the very beginning, I was like, are priests even allowed to smoke?
My wife was like, there's always that cool priest, right? It's always that priest that's got like, a little bit of edge to him.
You know what? I thought she might watch that one with you too. I just kind of felt that.
Of course.
When he was standing outside lighting up a cigarette, I was like, I even asked a Catholic friend, like, do Catholic priests smoke cigarettes? Are they allowed? Because they can't even get laid, but they can smoke cigarettes. I feel like that's a little off balance.
Is it that they can't get laid or they can't get married? We not
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be careful. Spanish fleas started to come into my brain.
You know what? I saw a clip of somebody on another podcast. I won't say which one, where they did something similar. It wasn't that song, but they did exactly that. They had to bleep out like a whole minute worth of commentary because the lady was going off. I thought it was hilarious. It made me instantly think of you guys.
Sometimes it gets like that. You never know. But yeah, no. I'm not even trying to ruffle feathers. I'm just being funny right now.
Absolutely.
Why were they eating the people?
Why were the rest of them eating people?
Well, the rest of them, I have no idea, but he was supposed to.
I think they wanted to experience the embodiment.
Maybe.
I thought the same thing, but it don't make sense.
It really doesn't, because he's the one that's supposed to eat the seven.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was just a ritualistic thing.
That's why the one guy had to be encouraged.
Or maybe they only started eating people when he arrived.
I think.
And that's why the guy was so freaked out.
No, yeah, I think they had.
They had way too many.
They had too many bodies in the freezer.
Yeah, and they were way too disassembled.
It was 7 of them, and they were holding on to him, waiting.
Right.
When he came through the door,
some of them were half eaten too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then when they came to the room with the 4 bowls, I was just like, ugh.
Listen, so when he said you're gonna finish all 4 of these portions, I was like, 4 portions? Yeah. What's significant about that?
Well, for me, it was like, how you gonna force me to eat that when you can't force people to eat nothing? And then when he covered his face, I'm like, that's not how that worked. That's not how any of that worked.
Just gonna make me suffocate on the food. I guess that's gonna make me swallow it, huh? I'm not gonna start breathing after I swallow it. Genius.
You mean
And
I
I
can't
can't
purse my
swallow it
lips and
while
breathe
you're
through the
holding my
sides of my
breath.
mouth?
I mean, honestly, did it have to look like they just chopped up bits of human and put it in a bowl? They couldn't have thrown some seasoning on it. They couldn't have added some salt and
The
pepper,
seasoning,
some
Man,
rice.
seasoning was demon sacrifice.
man, they
Yeah,
gave
and
him blood with hair in it. What you mean?
Yeah, they did.
He
Yeah, they
pulled hair
did.
out his
They
mouth.
didn't care. They didn't
where's
care. They
Hannibal
wasn't.
Lecter when you need
They
him?
weren't hiding it.
So
They
he
should
had to
have.
be with
They
it.
were not hiding it.
Yeah, I guess.
He was secretly like, man, it's kind of cool, but ugh.
Right. He was like, "Oh, I guess this is what I got to do to figure it out."
Oh,
Like,
he's
yeah,
like
nah,
the cop.
he was
He's like
deep
the
covered.
cop that goes undercover in South
Yeah,
Park,
he was
right?
deep covered.
When he's doing the prostitution ring.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Keyshawn.
Yeah.
Ow. You know.
Oh, that's nasty.
What was the his safe word was stretch.
Oh, right. Yeah. Freeze.
Freeze, back. Uh-huh.
Oh man, that's I
So
just
wrong.
you know what, and to the point when the other priest came and was like, I'm gonna help you out. I was like, that guy's
Don't
wrong.
trust him.
You know
Don't
he
trust
was
him.
set up.
Right, that guy's wrong. It's like, you know what? Even if he not wrong, I was like, I'm not going through your secret passage.
Look, for a
I'm just
cop,
not doing
it's
that.
stupid.
I'm walking out the front door, and anybody try to stop me catching one or
For a-
catching
for a
two.
No.
For a deep cover cop that was sent in on an operative mission, he had no clue what a mole looked like.
Nope.
Nah, not at all.
I used to be militia too. What?
Until it took an arrow to the knee.
Oh man, NPC.
Yeah.
Well done. Very well done.
Oh man. With the other priest though trying to help him, just it was too obvious. You
It was
know,
very obvious.
I think he was just so jaded by his mission of trying to find the girls, which was such a like, where's your backup? Where's your communication with the outside world? Like, all right, maybe I don't know enough about. And it's I really at some point I was like, maybe I don't know enough about going undercover as a cop in movies, but
You know,
he
I
is
really,
off
yeah.
the grid.
I really don't like too is the whole like at the end of the movie you figure out it was all a plan, and because basically the head priest is like, you think that you came here to investigate? I orchestrated this whole thing to bring you here, and it's like,
dun, dun, dun.
what are you talking about, man?
It was all a dream.
He clearly had to investigate. He was a part of the government that was investigating these murders.
Right.
He sent into his desk directly on purpose.
I mean, it wasn't hard to figure out at some point near the very beginning that it was all gonna be fake. All the stuff that they were doing at the bed with the first exorcism was like,
As soon as
yeah,
that
that's
damn
fake.
cross caught on fire, I was like, wait, hold up.
I was like, you're right. I was like, okay, so the cross is a torch. It's a lighter. It's a big lighter.
I thought the bed pedals. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did too. I knew it was all gonna be fake, and I didn't know how they were gonna explain it was fake, but I'm pretty sure that the cross was gonna be fake as a giant lighter. And I was like, wait a minute, there's no electricity, but there's a big ass fan in the back.
So what was with the tooth and the fly thing? Was it because he was eating the humans and it was starting the process of like his
I think so.
turning?
I think so. I think so. When he first saw it, I don't think that was actually him, but when he saw it again, you realize that was him foreshadowing the fly and the tooth and all of that shit.
Yeah, that was kind of nasty.
Foreshadowing the rat, I believe.
Yeah, because when he found that pot with the tooth in it, with the hole in the tooth, it was like, ugh. So and another thing, it's a monastery. These are priests, right? Why is it so filthy?
No, these are monks.
It's disgusting.
Why is it so
They're
filthy?
definitely not Buddhist monks. That's
No,
right.
not at all.
Because cleanliness is next to godliness, they say.
They're cut off from the outside world.
That don't mean you got to live in squalor and filth.
That's true.
Yeah, fair.
It was dingy as hell.
I was so immediately I was like, oh, so these aren't Catholic priests. These are probably Satanists. And then they bring out the red rose. Like, oh, there he is.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Oh yeah. That was I thought that part was pretty simple from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, once I saw the monastery was just completely filthy. I mean, sorry, not monastery, the sanatorium
Mm.
was completely filthy. I was like, yeah, because a priest monks aren't gonna live like they're not gonna live this filthy. I mean,
No.
they might live
It
poor,
was bad.
but you can wash the walls. You ain't
You
got
can
nothing
watch
else to
the
do all
walls,
day
but
besides that and pray.
Right. Yeah, you can sweep up a little bit.
Right. There's
for the
no
most
reason
part,
why your
that's all
pots
they
and
got to
pans
do.
are filthy.
How about it stank?
I'm,
What?
well,
I said
that
it
can be
stank.
explained because it's a sanatorium, and when you got people like that locked away, you know,
Oh, that part of it stinking. Okay, now it could stink because of that reason, but
right. But not because
I,
you cooking human
I'm talking about
flesh,
the
which
kitchen.
was obvious.
Right, I'm talking
Was
about the
the
kitchen.
sanatorium even necessary in this story?
No,
Not really.
No,
I
huh?
mean, it
it
was an
just
excuse to
it was a
have.
way to
Well,
paint them as negative, nasty ass people.
I
right.
guess. I guess it would have made sense if they were using the sanatorium people as the sacrifices, but they weren't even doing that. So
Nope.
That's right.
there
Because
wasn't a
they had
really.
people
Oh,
missing from
well,
the community, so I don't
that's
even
how
know
they
how
were
they
able
pulled
to.
that off.
That's how they were able to get the people from the community. Actually.
Oh, right, by saying they were crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they needed an exorcism.
Hmm.
And
So all
then
these
8
people were
women
able
get
to.
an
That's a
exorcism
stretch.
from this place, and they all die.
Yep.
Yeah,
All these people
that's a
needed to be
huge stretch though.
exercised.
Still,
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
I actually
it's an
really like the
extreme
ending though.
stretch
I ain't gonna
Why
lie
is
to you. I
everything in
did.
Poland so blue? I didn't know that.
because it's so cold.
It's like when everything
Is it?
shot in Mexico is yellow.
Because it's
Like
so
they do
hot.
that on purpose.
Yeah, those are cold. Hot and cold.
Yes, yes.
You know what?
They turn your temperature up and down.
Anything in Eastern Europe has always got a blue tint to it, and anything south of America always has a yellow
Unless
tint
it,
to
I've
it.
never noticed that until you mentioned
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and except for the Black Widow movie.
Hmm. I think that what really started with
Don't
traffic.
mention that one. That's not even worth mentioning.
Oh, the Black Widow movie. It was
Yeah,
so good though.
was it?
It was so
It
great.
was amazing. I can't even remember one part of it except for David Harbour being a drunk molester, I think.
Ugh,
Right?
I don't remember that.
No?
He was just a
No,
loose cannon, I thought, but
I
it
don't
could have been.
remember.
The
Honestly,
views
I
and
can
opinions
honestly say I
expressed
don't
on
remember a
Screen
single
Time
scene.
Continuum are not those that reflect the hosts of Screen Time Continuum. Anything said on this show is farcical
Satirical.
and a joke.
Yeah, all satire.
It's all satirical and for comedy purposes. Nothing should be taken completely serious.
Oh,
Only
ever.
with a grain
Yeah.
of salt.
I'm going to put one of those disclaimers on the beginning of the show, I think, just so people can understand.
And then every time it goes off screen, I'm gonna say, "Now get hit by a bus."
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, oh, geez. So let's see. Are they eating people? Yes.
Mhm.
Why the hell are they living a penitential life?
Just apparently to bring the Antichrist into existence.
For medicinal purposes.
But then it was like that priest at the beginning was trying to kill the kid.
It definitely. Oh yeah. So I believe that the priest at the beginning was trying to kill the kid because if you have a cult that's trying to bring about the end of the world and destruction and bring about a demon, there has to be a cult that's against it. And he was a part of a cult that's against it, but we didn't get nothing on
And
them.
to be honest, it would have been much easier to feed 7 people to a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Than a human.
Here's a toenail. Here's a toenail.
Yeah.
Never thought I would say that sentence in my entire life, but there we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on what movie you watch nowadays.
Right.
These movies will have you thinking things that you never thought.
I thought the sound design was pretty decent. Some of the sounds were annoying.
Some of the
they were
sounds
supposed
were
to
annoying.
be. I think they were supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm like I had my surround sound setting on Get it? You know, you just click through to anyway.
Mhm.
Um,
It's
and
called
I
the
turned my
volume
TV up
button.
pretty loud. It sounds good if I call it the surround sound
Yes,
system
yes, yes.
setting.
The acoustic, the
Right,
acoustic adjustments.
right. And you back your TV up pretty close to a wall, and then it bounces off the wall, and it probably bounces between the wall and the TV and shoots
That's
up, and
right.
it's like what?
We
Anyway,
call that Dolby Digital.
no, that's not
My
Dolby
TV
Digital.
has one speaker in the front, and that's it. I don't
Oh,
have surround sound, no
see,
sound bar.
see that means that you got direct sound.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You got to use the mono setting.
nah, I don't use no settings.
He said I don't use no setting; it just comes in
I use.
default.
I'm
But
gonna just plug my headphones in.
but no, so I had this turned up pretty loud, and I agree, Nick. Like there were times where I was like, "The hell was? Oh, that's the movie."
Mhm.
Okay, like not sure where that came from, and then you realize like, oh, like when things start happening, like him moving the bookcase and getting into the wall, and you realize like, oh, they were hinting at there were things moving in the walls and around him the whole time.
Right.
No, I definitely need to upgrade my entertainment system. Then if you getting all of that, I don't get none of that.
Yeah, that's how it came down. Um,
So cool.
yeah, that's pretty much.
I think that's it. And
We find out he gets
then he
free.
gets sacrificed.
Yeah, he gets free after he goes and he digs up trying to find the dead bodies that they're supposed to have buried. Finds an empty coffin. He hasn't quite figured out that he's eating people for whatever reason until he gets kidnapped, tied to the bed. Um, what
I
happens
think
after
he got assaulted sexually too. I mean, I'm
or Annie?
sorry. I think
Oh,
something happened to him inappropriate
so
while
that
he was asleep and
by that
tied
big
up.
800
guy.
years, 800 years of frozen people in freezers.
Yeah.
There,
By
there
that
was
big
no freezers
friar tuck
involved in this
looking fucker.
movie.
Oh yeah, it was definitely by that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
dude
because he
was
kept watching him sleep and everything.
Right.
I don't look. Listen, I'm not trying to wake up and have nobody just staring at me ever.
At least he was nice with the gun though.
Oh, and
You
put the
know
pillow.
what?
He handled that dude pretty quick.
Yeah,
Oh,
he did.
oh yeah, he's a
And
cop.
that's why I said when he took dude to the secret passage, I was like, no, I'm not taking no
Right.
secret passage. I'm walking out the front door. Anybody try to stop me getting shot?
But
Yeah,
Period.
exactly.
I
Right.
didn't understand why he went with him on his
Period.
secret passage.
Any of
Right.
you
Me neither.
Benedictine monks have gun? Didn't think so.
Right.
I mean, they should, because
They should.
They find his gun though and leave it where he can get to it if he got out.
It's just sitting there on a table right
Right.
next to him.
Didn't even use it. He didn't even hold him. See, if they'd have put the gun on him and be like, "Don't move, you finna eat this stuff," that would have
Yeah.
made more sense.
Yeah.
but no, they thought the power of their entity was going to overpower him.
Yeah, that didn't go like they thought it was gonna go, did it?
I honestly
Now, what
thought
did
at
you
that
learn?
I honestly thought at that point the movie was gonna end. And it was just like, oh shit. It didn't happen, guys. All right. Well,
Well, I figured that he had to die or something for it to go the way they wanted to. Because
So,
of what they were saying, the ritual was supposed to be if the baby survived. It was like, that's stupid.
right.
You got to kill the baby, and if the baby survives, then we can bring the Antichrist. Okay, that's kind of
And
silly.
and the notion of this humans gonna consume humans.
Well, that
So
part made sense because
it's gonna have to be
that's like the ultimate taboo.
Okay. But no,
Cannibalism
but
is like the ultimate taboo.
how would that would natural? Oh, okay, I guess. Never mind.
Now go get your hash your thought out.
I was gonna say
again, y'all couldn't
nobody
even
in the
just
same mind is naturally eating people.
y'all couldn't even throw some garlic in there, huh? It just had to be a bloody slop of muscle.
That shit look like chitter. That shit look like chitlins.
It did look like chitlins, yeah. But
Nah,
not
don't even
cooked.
defame
Not
chitlins
cooked.
like that.
No, but not
No,
cooked.
dang,
Like raw.
chillin'. I'm talking about raw chitlins. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I done seen raw chitlins, and I know you have too.
I'm like saying I done seen cooked chitlins that look not too far off from that too.
Hey, I was at your house when they was getting made a couple times.
Hey, listen,
It didn't look like that.
that's
Oh,
money
okay.
protocol.
I thought he was
Don't
about to
nobody
say
eat that.
something.
Nah, man. Come on.
Thought there was about to be
I'm
a
telling.
fight.
Look, I'm telling it all.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I just had some tripe the other day, and it didn't look like that. It didn't look
Oh
as
man, no,
bad as
it's
that.
not supposed to look that bad. No.
Right.
Look,
I
the
mean,
fact.
they could have threw some rice on the side of that, some vegetables somewhere in there. No, just a bloody hunk of meat that everybody just spooning.
Yeah.
Throw some white rice on there.
Not
They
even,
could have used the
I don't
blood
even
as
think it's
some
hot.
sauce.
I think it's cold.
It was cold.
right. They didn't even have forks. They were using spoons. You couldn't even cut that up.
And it was all thick and gooey.
With
Right.
hair in it. Yeah.
And then he pulls out a big clump of hair out his mouth. I was like,
You know
Oh,
your food.
God.
You know your food is nasty when you take a bite out of it, and you got a big ass glob of snot that falls on your spoon, and you don't care nothing about it.
Rather
this
eat the
snot might just
snot.
give it the salty seasoning that it needs.
Mhm. He was probably happy when that came. Like, ugh, yeah, finally. So,
Yeah, there was a lot of gross out in
This
this
is
movie.
a
for
pretty
sure.
gross movie in general.
It is. Yeah.
But so
Like I
they
said, I
based
liked it.
when he got to the library after they eat all the nasty ass food, he gets to the library, and when Piotr is showing him the book, he goes straight to the shelf and pulls out the book and see right here. Oh, but you told me you found it.
Right. You know what? And that was another thing. He goes in there, he pulls open the book, and he sits there and he sees the design for his that's on his chest. You don't think that's like a little suspicious? This dude just happens to come across this right when you get here.
Because what would that logo have to do with you?
Uh,
How would he know that?
he just happened to, lead you right to that. I got
Talking
something
about
I want to show you. Look at
you
these
was
dead
born on an
bodies.
eclipse. You want to see a dead body?
There are 7 of them in the fridge.
That's right.
Guess what you been eating?
Mhm.
And then they were all maimed. The eyes were all taken out, and just, God dang it.
Were the eyes taken, or did they come to life?
Well, some of them probably came to life and just crawled out.
Yeah, what the hell was that thing?
That was
It
an
was
eye
an
and
eyeball
Eyeball
attached to
totem.
like
all of the hair and dirt attached to it as it was dragging along.
Wrapped up in hair, close with teeth,
Couple
old
of rubber
teeth.
bands. I saw a ketchup packet.
Yeah, they're right. Some lint, some
It was
pocket
gross. I don't
lint.
know what it was. I know it
I
was an
can't wait to
eyeball.
see if it gets nominated for a Oscar. I'm just
For
saying.
what?
I'm just saying. This movie was
I
fantastic.
think it's gonna get nominated for a Michael.
Hey, better than She-Hulk.
Well, it's not saying much.
Just saying.
I don't think that's even a competition.
Better than Phase 4 altogether.
Definitely
Well,
not
that's
arguing.
also can't really argue that one.
That's just
Spider-Man was
for the
fun.
record. That's just my humble
Spider-Man's
opinion.
owned by Sony.
Right. Now, Spider-Man was good. We ain't gonna defame that one. That was actually
but-
decent.
But I mean, Marvel
I used the word
only
fun.
gets
Right.
25% of that. It's 75% Sony. So.
Jeez, talk about working contract deals.
Mm-hmm.
I really did like the way it ended though, because I like it. I like it when people get what they asked for, and those people got exactly what they asked for. And the dude when the second in command decided that he was going to turn into the Lord of the Flies. I thought that was pretty good. I actually enjoyed that. I felt that he got his comeuppance.
He tore him up.
Yeah, he got his comeuppance.
But he had to get Jesus's permission for the rest of them.
Apparently.
Jesus looked down at him and was like, "Nah, I guess.
Yeah, get him.
All right, I guess I'm coming back. We're gonna end this all up." I thought it was.
I thought that too, Nick. I really felt like that was like that. Hey, I got this one. Don't worry about it. Just close your eyes, big dog.
You know what? That's why I said. That's why I said I thought the idea of the movie was pretty good. I just didn't think the execution was all that great.
It would have been a better monster movie if they had.
If it was introduced earlier, it would.
Yes.
I think if they would have been able to go more in depth, like story wise, and been able to like give some details to what they were trying to do and why, and I think that would have came across a little better than just, hey, this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. There just wasn't a lot of heavy lore. I think the only lore we get is that library scene
Right.
where everything is wrapped up and explained to you in about 45 seconds,
Yeah.
and not a whole lot of details given with that.
Right.
After every-
45 seconds of this is what's happening and why, and you better like it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey,
'Cause- And then when
He-
they actually like were disappointed that it didn't go right, I was like, I see what they're finna do here. I kind of like that part.
I
Like
thought
it
that was
didn't
pretty
work,
funny.
and they're all disappointed. Like, oh man, what do we do now?
We
Now
can't
none
have
of
our
them are
blood
standing
orgy.
there-
What the
right.
hell?
Right. Now
Right.
none of you are standing there to exalt him when he comes. So you're definitely dead.
And then when they all were in the hall after he kills the head priest, because power. That ain't power I even want. I wouldn't even want to be the head of that dude. I'm like, man, can I go home?
What's the benefit? There is no
Right.
benefit. Seems like all downside.
What type of people you eat this week?
You can't even get like some cool superpower, like some super sick, like I don't know,
You get a staff
super
that shoots
speed,
something.
Right.
some
And that's
teleporting.
why when he got turned into the Lord of Flies and was just disintegrated into flies, I thought that was pretty cool. And then they go all the way into the tomb and they infest the other guy, the cop's body. I was like, okay, I knew this was kind of happening. Once they stabbed him and nothing happened, I kind of knew something was going to happen afterwards. It was just not going to happen when they expected it. And then when it worked out that way, I was like, perfect. And then when he came out as the full-on demon and they showed it, I was kind of surprised. I just didn't think they were going to show that.
But it's Polish, so that makes sense to me. When they
Yeah.
stabbed him, I
Mhm.
knew immediately. I was like, "Oh, they had to kill him." Got it.
Right.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean-
the demon design was pretty decent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
Agreed.
reminded me of there's a show called Seven Deadly Sins, also on Netflix. It reminded me of a character named Galland, and that initial moment where he gets up to the top and they turn and run away from him. That's very similar to what Galland's commandment or sin is, which is if you were to lie to him or break your word or to turn your back to him, then you get turned into stone. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Because at first I thought maybe he was just commanding them not to move and they couldn't move. It was more like time stopped
Yeah.
because the rosary was frozen in place and everything too.
Yeah. That
And
was
then
I thought that was
everything
pretty
went
cool.
to the upside down, and this is a prequel to Stranger Things.
yeah. Demon time.
But it
The
doesn't seem
upside
like
down.
there could be a sequel to this because we witnessed the end of the world, right?
And
Yeah.
and that, what did
game
they
over.
think was going to happen though? Is what I was trying to understand.
That's
Like,
what they wanted, though. They're occultists.
right, but what did they expect to happen at the end when the demon comes out? What did you really think was going to happen?
They wanted to be apostles of such.
Right. So he's just going to be cool with y'all. Y'all not going to catch all the shit that everybody else going to catch.
Yeah. So you're gonna summon an evil being and then Pikachu face when he's evil, huh? It's so silly. It's like, yeah, what do you expect?
Like, I didn't think you would kill me.
Yeah.
Not me. Really?
I mean, like
I'm
that happens
evil.
every time something is summoned. It's always the thing that summons it always gets killed. Person
Right.
that summons
That's
it
like a
always gets killed.
standard.
Yeah.
First man down. Before there's any understanding, it's gonna be the first. It's gonna be war before there's any discussion.
Right. And then their whole purpose was that humanity needed to be punished. Okay. Starting with you.
Of course, humanity needs to be punished. That's why you build a monastery on top of the gate to hell instead of sealing it.
Yeah.
Right. Because that only makes sense.
And then don't clean your room.
And you know what? And to be fair, one of the first criticisms I had when it first started playing, I was like, is this like a nun thing? Like I don't know if you guys seen the movie The Nun. As the first thing that popped in my head, I didn't like that one either. I didn't even like it. And I thought it did more than this one, but I like the way this one ended better.
Okay.
I didn't like The Nun. I actually liked the Conjuring universe and most of those movies. I didn't like The Nun. And that's the vibe it gave me was like the first thing he goes into a creepy monastery or sanatorium, just like in The Nun. But he's that was an actual priest, and some of the concepts are kind of similar. And then I'm like, okay, he's not a priest. He doesn't know the Latin. He's smoking. It didn't seem like a real priest.
The
Shenanigans.
father was smoking and drinking though
Not
too.
that, I say
Right.
not the smoking.
Yeah.
He's
And that's just
doing
at the beginning, and then at the end, the head priest is getting lit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He rocking out with his Polish music,
Yep.
pop star music. It's like, come on, man.
Look, his Polish. Yep. Rockstar music.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. Rockstar music. Could have gone somewhere else.
I was not.
Yeah.
It was me.
Yep. I wasn't gonna get a censor for that one.
I'm guilty. All right.
Is there anything
So
else?
I have no other thoughts on this movie. I was really sitting here going through my notes, like, damn, we got all of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it wasn't like
Not a lot, and it wasn't a lot of talking.
no.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick one. It's only an hour and a half too with credits. So it's like
I actually watched another movie after that.
Now we're talking. Say it again.
Mhm.
I actually watched another movie right after that one,
I wanted to. That's how short it was. Yeah.
and I enjoyed both movies, even though the second one I didn't remember that I had already watched it. You should check it out, The Devil Below.
Mm.
Oh, I've seen that.
It's a monster movie. It's not a religious. It's a monster movie, and it talks about that the what is it, the Devil's Boar or whatever in Siberia. You know oh man, you never heard about that one?
Mm-mm.
Where they drilled that hole trying to get to the center of the earth.
Yes, yes.
I forgot what it's called. It's kind of based off of that concept, but in America, where the Americans had a mine shaft.
Mm-hmm.
And hell spawns come out of it. It's a monster movie. It's pretty good. And you might, well, let me not say it's pretty good. It's entertaining.
You could enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
something to watch. So you can watch Hellhole and The Devil Below back to back.
Yeah.
Mm,
Two-pack feature. Two-pack.
that's good.
You know what? There's one there. When we get done with this, I'm gonna suggest something you guys to watch just on a humbug and see if you like it.
Sounds
Okay.
good. Well, I think we can get to our ratings probably. 'cause
I believe we can.
we're already there.
All right, I'll start off. I'll give it about a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
About a 4. For all the reasons I already discussed. My favorite part really is the ending. Not because I thought the whole movie was bad. I really did like the ending.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm around that too. I'd say about like a 4.5. I don't dislike the movie. I just don't think that it made enough of an impact on me for me to be like, oh, that was good.
Agreed.
So that it's a bit under the average for me, just because I'm probably not going to remember much of it. And
What's it called again?
right, exactly.
Right. Exactly.
The end was decent enough in that it was kind of like, okay, cool, but it also made me wish that was the movie that we were watching, and that it was more of a monster movie. That would have been kind of cool. But yeah, 4.5 for me.
Okay.
And for myself, I'm gonna give it a 3. The moment I finished this movie, I couldn't honestly recant it immediately, and I definitely couldn't tell in chronological order, which let me know there wasn't much to tell. Still really can't, and I have notes in front of me, and still was no reason to try to tell it in any singular order. Excuse me. I feel like my
Without
whole
checking your
brain
notes,
went
what's the
down.
main character's first name?
He didn't have a first name that we got.
Merrick.
Merrick was just his name in general.
Hmm.
He was Father Merrick, Officer Merrick. Was that his last name or his first name?
Who knows?
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised you remembered.
Oh yeah. I think that's the only name we got, isn't it? I had to
think
look
so.
on Google to find out Piotr's name, and then they said Piotrek at the end, and I was like, oh, that's his name.
Yeah, I forgot everybody's name like immediately after I finished it.
Father, the monk, the other monk, the priest, the monk. That's how I
Right.
looked at it. But yeah, not much to remember, not much to talk about. Like the monster, and didn't hate the movie overall, but not much to really remember and tag along
Hope
with. If I was telling somebody else about this movie, other than us talking about it right now, in fact, if you guys weren't here to talk about this with me, I probably would have been stuck a long time ago. So yeah, it's gonna give me a 3 on this.
fair enough.
Yeah. And that gives us a what's that? 7, 10, 11.5, 11.5 out of 30. Woo, that is not good. I think that gives like a 3,
3.8.
3.8, something like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 3.8. Yeah, it's it's not going to blow your mind or anything like that. I think it's kind of like a decent passive watch, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot to be appreciative of.
I
some of the
liked it.
cinema some of the cinematography was decent, and in that there was a good ambiance. I did feel like they
Mhm.
did a good job about setting the
Totally.
area, making you feel like, you were in a sanitarium and all that stuff. But
Yeah, agreed.
um, yeah, aside from that, and maybe some of the music design, I think it was just kind of unremarkable. And the ending is decent, but again, kind of like the Wendigo, where it's like, ah, man, I really wanted to see more of that, and you only get it
Yeah.
for the last few minutes. So.
Right.
Krampus movies. Yeah, I get what you mean.
I
You
liked
get
it
a
when
little
the
bit out of
hellscape opened up. That was dope.
it. That was cool. That
Yeah.
was cool. And that was probably the one thing I'll remember from this movie. And one day I'll be like, "Where is that from?" I don't know. I had that thoughts in my head.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just think the Upside Down and then Stranger Things.
That's
Probably,
true.
yeah. Yeah, what episode was that?
Quite literally, it was the episode where Hopper's in the gulag, and yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
Man, I can't wait for that to be over.
it's almost over.
I'm
Don't worry.
I'm just into it till it's over now because I just have to see how it concludes.
Mm.
I was over it maybe a season and a half ago. I don't know, but I
and
have to
Season
see how it
they
ends.
gave you the same story twice.
See,
season 4 was decent enough, but yeah, season
don't ruin it
3,
further.
yeah, season 3 and 2 are kind of weak. So.
We reviewed it, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. You did indeed. And you can check that out on Screen Time Continuum.
Right.
Right,
Take the
right.
archives.
Yes,
All right, I guess that's it.
I think so.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, that is a wrap on the hellhole. We could put that thing away, cover it, tear down a monastery, let the rocks fall in, maybe set a fire or 12, and the hellhole is closed. If you want to check out the movie that we just covered, Hellhole, go ahead and head over to Netflix. Check that out. Come on back. Check out what we have to say about it. If you don't want to see the movie and you just want to know what we have to say about it, take some cliff notes over here with us. You can just tune in, rewind, tell somebody about it. Maybe you just now caught us. That's perfectly fine. There's no complaints over here. Thank you for tuning into the Screen Time Continuum. This is our Sunday episode. Be sure to make a list because we have some shows that I think you'll really enjoy. On Tuesdays, you can check out If Numbers Could Talk. Wednesdays, you'll be right back here on Screen Time Continuum. Thursdays, you have Strawberries and Coffee. That's over on Twitch, in fact. And you can check most of the podcasts we have out on Facebook, on the Thinkering Talks page. You can always go over to YouTube and check any of the names that I'm giving you right now, and you will definitely find them as well as other platforms as you venture through, and tell more friends about it, and you'll know exactly where you like to listen to your podcast, and you'll find us. So again, let me go through that list. I know I stopped midway through, so you got half of it. Got you covered. You have the Screen Time Continuum on Sundays. Tuesdays, you have If Numbers Could Talk. Wednesdays, you have Screen Time Continuum. Thursdays, you have Strawberries and Coffee. Friday, you have the Exo Fathom, as I said before, available on Facebook, YouTube, a whole lot of other things, Rumble, Verbal. I want to say there's another Herbal in there, right?
Herbal Wordle. Yeah.
Herbal Warble.
Mhm.
This Married Moment is available for you on Saturdays, and then Sundays you can come right back here with us on Screen Time Continuum. And then, hey, jump into the comment section. Let us know how you felt about this, any movies you want us to cover, or if you want us to just have a show on Monday and just take up all 7 days of your week, I mean, why not? But for this moment, screen time moment, we appreciate you guys. My name is Keelan.
I am Nick.
And I'm Mike.
We appreciate you guys, and stay away from open mouths of hell.
It's a good idea. Hellmouth is bad.
Oh, you guys are being mean.
Oh, I'm sorry, bud.